Welcome to light years.
Or Under Armour.
That is really the only positive thing I have to say about the Warriors right now. I'm just sitting here. I don't know what else to say. It's just what a miserable game. What a miserable weekend homestand. They lose both games.
Yes.
You and I were heated with Draymond getting kicked out against Cleveland. I don't even feel like we should talk about that much. They lose 116-110 against Minnesota. Honestly, I thought Cleveland kind of kicked their ass a little more than Minnesota, but they can't score the ball is like my main takeaway. And we're going to get into it, but another 38% from the field, 28% from three. Minnesota did everything they could to give the Warriors an opportunity to come back in this game, and nope, not happening.
Oh, well, they lost both games the exact same way, right? So we really can talk about both games while saying the same stuff because it was essentially the same game, Sam, and it was the same game that we've watched really most of last season. And this is where, dude, like I'm starting to get PTSD because I'm watching these games and I'm like, well, they can't make a shot. The offense is clunky. They're running the same boring offense. Tonight they get Draymond standing out on an island. He shoots a couple threes and then he just stops shooting. He's just waiting for Steph to run off a screen and then Klay to run off a screen and then another screen and another screen. And then they can't defend anyone because they're too small. It's not even rebounding. They just can't stay in front of guys at all throughout the entire game. So I don't know. We watched the same two games over and over. It's disheartening because you never felt like they were going to win tonight. Did you at any point feel like they were going to win tonight? Unless Steph had like 50. But I mean,
when Steph was getting hot in the first half, I thought they were going to win because he's just that good. Another 38 points for Steph tonight. I mean, you just, at a certain point, you start running out of things to say about him. I'm just going to share this right now. I think this is probably the best form of analysis to be said on this team all season. Highest scoring game by Warriors players all season. It's just Steph with Dario Saric randomly having 20 in one game. This is what no help actually looks like. You're getting nothing from anyone across the board on this team. And I don't know, man. It's
not, and one thing I don't want to like be the swerve guy, but it's not just offensively that he's not getting any help. The beauty of having Steph amongst a lot of things is that you can play elite defenders around him so that you can help, right? He can carry the offense while you have elite defense.
Right.
I don't feel that way right now.
He can make defensive combinations work on offense that shouldn't.
Like, so. Right, exactly. Right. Better way. That's a better way to put it. Like Draymond, Looney, Wiggins, those three guys are so bad offensively. Two of those are always going to be bad on offense. But you add in Wiggins, we'll get to him. Those guys aren't playing great defense, though, Sam. Like, it doesn't feel like this team is an elite defensive team. And then you throw in lineup combinations that now have Sarge at the 4/5, and then Chris Paul and Steph lineups. And I don't see enough defense to where you can say, all right, Steph, if you score 38, at least we'll hold the Timberwolves to under 100 points, right? Or under 110 or whatever. They're just not even good enough defensively. So outside of just the offense, they're just not good enough on the other side of the ball.
It's across. As you said, it's everything. I had this thought, Steph's 35. He's going to turn 36. Around the All-Star break, like a little after his birthday is the 20-something of February. He's better at 35 than LeBron was. He's better than Michael Jordan was at this age. Like, I'm not even just trying to be like a Warrior guy and he just is. Like, he's maybe the best player in the league right now still. Like, I don't know that I think Jokic is better than him. I don't think Jokic is necessarily worse than him. He's playing at a level that it's absurd a guy of his age can still play at. And the way the team's going, like, it's just disappointing for me.
Yeah, it is.
Because if they get, I don't know, a B-level Klay Thompson and a B-level Wiggins, like not even their best version, just like like solid passing grade, like good versions of them, they win tonight. They probably win Saturday against Cleveland. They're probably 9-1, 9-2 they're in a good spot. But you're just watching them and you're just like, dude, I saw you getting frustrated over this. I can't get mad at Dario Saric. Dario Saric is the second best offensive player on this team right now. And that is the problem. Dario Saric should not be that important to this team. He should be a curveball that you throw out there when you need a little stretch shooting and kind of an offensive big. He had to play 30 minutes because they can't generate offense, period. Yeah. And that comes down to no one other than number 30 can do anything right now.
I thought they threw out the lineup at the end of the game, the Kuminga, Wiggins to go with Steph, Klay, and Draymond. I thought that lineup is a fun lineup, right? I think the lack of, maybe willingness to even change stuff up from Steve Kerr is a problem right now. Look, he doesn't have – there are no obvious answers. But you kind of can't keep doing the same thing over and over again. Meaning you can't just keep running this offense with Steph coming out. You know what Minnesota's game plan is. They pack it up, they pack it in, and they're going to push guys like Draymond and Looney. You can't play them together. So you're going to have to change it up. You can't play Chris Paul 22 minutes. The Sarge stuff, I thought, you kind of have to play him, sure, but man, he is elite level bad defensively. But you're right. Then what? Kuminga tonight goes 2 for 11. You know, one thing I noticed about him, too, defensively is that he's actually not really good staying in front of guys right now. He's not actually playing great defense. I watched Kyle Anderson go right by him. Kyle Anderson, slow-mo, go right by him multiple times. And I'm sitting here like, there's only so much that you can do, that you can throw out there, but they do need to change stuff up. Podziemski and Chase Jackson-Davis, are they the answer? I don't know, Sam. I don't know, but they come out here and they play like it's the freaking last. They play like it's the last NBA game that they'll ever play. You know what I mean? Each time Pods and Chase Jackson-Davis goes on the court, I see that, and I'm like, well, this is better than watching Wiggins. This is better than watching – I mean, even Chris Paul, this is better than watching Chris Paul. Podziemski has burst out there. He's getting to the rim. He's going through guys, and I don't know, Sam. I don't have answers. I just wish that's – maybe you do something different, right?
Sebastian, the chat, points out Pods outscored Wiggins in a minute. And let's just get into it because it's not just Wiggins. It's Klay. It's honestly CP2, while he's doing a good job moving the ball, not turning it over, I don't know that you can say he's doing anything else well. Not shooting the ball well. Not like providing much else. Like he's looking very washed, you know?
That layup was rough.
Was rough. And I'm just sitting here and I'm going, I understand Steve Kerr not shaking up the starting lineup because once you start doing that, you might lose guys. Like, just having perspective, this is game 11. In theory, Andrew Wiggins didn't forget how to play basketball. In theory, Klay Thompson didn't forget how to play basketball. You don't want to be overreactive to a slow start and like do all that sort of stuff. But then I'm watching him and I'm just like, nothing's changing. Nothing is changing whatsoever. So you kind of have an obligation to try to win a game here and there. And I don't know if changing the lineup is the move right now, but like it's not irrational to go down that path.
Yeah, we need to talk. Let's start with Wiggins since you talked about it, and then we could start some Klay. I don't know about the lineup. I wouldn't be against it, Sam. We talk about maybe you get him mentally out of it, but dude, we're watching him. He's mentally out of it right now. So I don't. It doesn't get worse, right? And is he? They've got to be able to trust that he can handle it, right?
He's not locked in right now. It's not like you're messing with him like on the verge of breaking out,
right?
So.
And maybe you get him with Chris Paul. In the second unit, maybe Chris Paul gets him. I mean, like, they're getting him dunks, they're getting him looks, they're not getting him bad looks, but maybe you get him against some weaker lineups on the bench, so maybe he gets in a little bit of a better rhythm. You know, he's always been a decent mid-range self-creator. He's not even trying to do that right now. He's not even trying to get to his 17-foot pull-up contested mid-range, which we don't love, but he doesn't have the confidence, right? That's the point.
He airballed one today. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I saw it.
I know you saw it.
I saw it.
It's just a hyperbolic statement. But, yeah, I mean, he is the number that sticks in my mind is 3-point attempts. He took 2 today. He's averaging 2.2 a game this season. I looked it up because I was just like, this doesn't feel right.
Oh, wow.
This matches the eye test. He's getting open threes. Like, you just watching basketball, you agree with me. Like, these are in rhythm. You catch it, you should cash it. If this is Andrew Wiggins the last 3 years, in every time, right? He catches it, it goes up. He's not shooting them because when he does shoot them, he just misses them. I don't know if he's in his own head about it or something's wrong with his mechanics, but like, it's not going to work if you're not going to take an open created three for you. You know, it's his issues are different than Klay. Klay's doing that thing where he's like frustrated and he's chucking 40-footers for no reason. Completely different issue. Equally as bad, but a different issue nonetheless. I don't know what you do with Wiggins because they keep going that we believe in him, we trust him, and I'm just sitting here going like, I get it. You don't want to mess with his confidence. All of that screams to me that you're worried he's in his own head.
Yeah, he absolutely is, and I don't know what you can do outside of. I think you've got to give him different responsibilities because it is 11 games and he isn't doing stuff that he's used to be doing. And at some point, look, the Warriors are 6-5 right now. They're going to play Minnesota again, and then they play OKC back to back. And last time they played them, came down to the buzzer without SGA. They just smoked Phoenix on the road tonight. And like these are games that aren't going to be easy. They're not playing Detroit. They can't just like say, hey, figure it out against Marcus Sasser. You know what I mean? Like they're going to need him to figure it out against Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams and any of these guys. I almost feel like they've got to maybe pull him earlier and play him with the bench. They can't say, hey, you need to run it. You're the guy that handles the ball and runs a pick and roll, right? So that's not the type of player he is.
No.
So, yeah, I don't – 25 minutes too, right? That's the other thing that's just ugly. 25 minutes in a game that –
Every game. Every game has been 23 minutes, 27 minutes, 22 minutes. So, basically, you know, Steve's like, I'm going to give you a shot, but if it's not working, I'm going somewhere else at the end of the game. I don't think he's played 30 all year. I'm double checking right now.
He hasn't had a great.
He hasn't played 30 minutes all year. Yeah, that's all you need to know at this stage.
And it's bad because it's not like Kuminga's playing amazing. I mean, he's better. He's playing better than Wiggins right now, but he's not playing.
The energy's better, but that's it. You know, it's right. He's sloppy in other ways.
Yep. Should we talk about Klay? Let's talk about Klay.
And I want to. So I see a couple comments, and people have brought this out to me. It's like, oh, they're too slow. They're too unathletic. They're getting exposed by size. Maybe true, but I need to see what it looks like when those dudes actually can hit a shot on offense before I'm willing to say that. I don't know if do you buy the theory that they can't hit shots because they're tired from trying to rebound and defend?
I actually kind of do. I kind of do. And I think part of that is wear and tear on you. And I think it's affecting Klay a little bit to where it does feel like you're always playing uphill. You're always climbing. And every time, and these mistakes kind of compound, right? Like you get a stop, all of a sudden, it's not even that Minnesota out-rebounded them something crazy. The Warriors had more rebounds. That's not where the size matters, though. It matters when Klay's consistently having to wall off Gobert in the paint, right? And I think that stuff does matter to where and Wiggins, same thing, to where he has to play up on the floor and he's constantly guarding quicker guys. Then all of a sudden he has to go guard Karl-Anthony Towns. I do think that matters. But on the other hand, Sam, Wiggins playing 25 minutes. You can't tell me he's that tired. Klay, maybe you should scale up back his minutes. I mean, he played 33 tonight, which isn't that much, but there has been games where he's played 36, 37, 38. But, I mean, if that's the reason why you can't make I mean, I don't know. Then go play younger guys more. Moody played 13 minutes tonight again.
That's the other part of it. By the way, if this is your first time joining us on Playback, create an account so you can type in the chat. You can also request to come on stage. We'll get to the goons later. We want you guys interacting with us on Playback. Appreciate everyone new who's joining us. I see a strong amount of new people here.
Let's go.
Yeah, okay, let's get to Klay. I just wanted to call it out. If it's the first time, maybe you don't know maybe you don't know about the account creation. Anyway, back to Klay. Klay's, I think we hit on it. Klay's kind of the other end of the issue where he's trying to force it a little bit, and like that sequence in the fourth, I mean, I'm now just doing Skip Bayless deep sighing because I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, they go on a run and a little bit of a run.
They have life. It looks like they have a chance to get back into it, and he pulls from 40. Definitely feeling like what's going through his head. He's like, Game 6, baby. And then I think the steal that Kuminga got that led to a fast break with the missed layups was arguably worse.
Yeah. That was both times they were down by I think 10 or 11 points. And like, look, those aren't buckets that get them to a tie game or anything like that. But those are plays where I think
the
momentum was shifting.
That was your chance to turn 11 to 8-9, and then the crowd gets into it,
right?
And Steph's gonna hit a shot, and then it's a 5-point game. And then Draymond gets into it. Like, it turns into a real thing. And instead, we saw what happened.
We saw this last year too. It feels like there's just so much of, hey, I'm just gonna shoot myself back into this. There's so much of, I don't even trust guys around me to give me the ball back. I'm just gonna shoot this up. It's like, Klay, dude, you've played with Draymond and these guys. There was another possession where he dribbles up, he gets a rebound, and instead of passing to Steph in the middle of the court for the fast break, he dribbles by himself past half court and then gets trapped and has to call a timeout. And it's just small stuff like that where you're just, the level of selfishness, man. It's I think we've seen it so often, but again, he would make those shots. That 40-footer goes down 6 years ago, right? That thing goes down. Or he takes another dribble and that baby goes down. And all of a sudden they're down 8, and then they get another stop, get another 3, they're down 5. They go ahead and win that game somehow, some way. Like, we're used to seeing that stuff. But again, people are saying Klay's washed. I don't think he's washed, but he's definitely not as good as he used to be. And that's someone that I always thought Draymond would be the guy, Sam, that would be like, when he gets older, he wouldn't be able to adjust. Feels like that's Klay.
And like, to your point, like, some of it's been frustrating with Draymond with the officials in different ways, but yeah, I mean, I also think when we thought that, we didn't count on Klay having 2 catastrophic leg injuries.
No.
I don't want to make excuses for him, but like, it just always feels like he thinks he can grit his way into being, pre-Achilles tear Klay.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen, man. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't, again, is there something you would do now with him? Like, same question as with Wiggins. What can you do?
It's tough because I think about this a lot. Like, you watch the Clippers.
Oh, I do. Oh, I love watching the Clippers right now.
James Harden's a fucking loser. It's like they're and you watch the Pelicans with young players who are not in shape or out of lineup for no reason. And it makes you appreciate someone like Klay, who, no matter what you think of him, he's always been about the right things. He competes his ass off. He's not afraid of the moment. He does all the right things. So, like, you want to root for that guy because when it matters, you got a guy who cares about winning more than anything. Yep. But you're watching him, and I'm also sitting here, I'm going, like, you could still be a winning player.
Yep.
I just don't think you can be, 30-point, Game 6, like 2019. Like, I and that's the part where it's hard because I still think those qualities he has matter. Like, do you agree with me? There's a lot of talented players in the NBAs who are kind of losers.
Yeah,
they're not guys you want on your team when shit gets tough.
Yeah,
where it's like, oh, they're just gonna throw up some shots and they'll be like, I'll be fine. I'm gonna go my own way.
Yeah, we're seeing that guy in Washington right now. No, I'm with you. I think the mindset is there. Klay will always have that dog, as they say. But it's just hard to see him go through it now.
He's making it tough on us. I'm not gonna lie.
I always say I'm the biggest fan of the guys that have always won a ton here, and that's Steph and Klay and Draymond. And frankly, I don't think there's much to say about Draymond this season. There's really nothing bad to say. I don't think he's playing like all time amazing, but he's been very good. That Cavs ejection though was I don't want to be the bad guy here, Sam, but it's just so Draymond. He's trying to get him in it. He's trying to get them pumped up, and he just fucks up, and he just. I don't know, like that stuff always seems to happen to him, right? Even if it's bullshit.
Can we talk about that one real quick? All right. Here's how I saw the play. And I just want to hear your perspective on it. He bumped Donovan Mitchell in transition. A little bit of a cheap shot. But also, like, let's be honest, I saw Gobert do that twice in this game. Like, it's not that uncommon for dudes to hit guys in transition when other dudes aren't looking, when refs aren't looking. Like, that's basketball. Mitchell sold a flop and then got mad that he didn't get the flop. And then he pushed, Draymond and then they go and review it. And I'm sitting here and I'm going, that feels like everything that's wrong with instant replay and review, where instead of getting to the intent of the play, they're like, oh, let's eject him right now. So I don't have an issue with Draymond bumping Donovan Mitchell there, but like I want to hear your counter on this point. Like, what's the part that bothered
you? This will never get solved. But Draymond, you got to know in that situation, I know he's trying to get them all jacked up and he's towing the line, right? He already has a tech. And he just does one more ticky-tack thing, and it's again, he says it in his IG post. It's like, it's him. It's Draymond's being Draymond. GP2 said it. Draymond's being Draymond. It's just at some point, man, that happened relatively early in the third quarter. They still make a run, but they just don't have enough defense with him out there. He essentially doesn't play half the game. They don't have a chance to win that game. And so that's where I'm just frustrated. It's just the same. It's the same stuff.
Your whole point is like, I get it, but you just don't even bother. You have a T.
Exactly. Why push him in the back? Right? It's the same with Sabonis. It's the same with every single thing with Draymond in the last 10 years. And everyone's argument back to me is they've won with him. I cannot argue back against it. I'm just saying you do that again and you lost the game. The results are you lost the game. You got kicked out. I do think I don't even know if you mentioned this. I don't think you did, but just going back to review is bullshit though, right? Because you can't review something from 2 plays ago. What are we doing here? I know you had tweeted this, and I know TK tweeted this. Like, so is anybody just going to be able to do that from now on? Can you just challenge something from 2 plays ago?
Like, I understand the instinct to want to get plays right, but you just ruin the game. Like, part of sports is imperfect. Like Chris Paul is probably the master of fouling and getting away with it, right? Like, we used to hate how much he holds Steph and like elbows him and does shit to him forever, but that's part of what makes him good, trying to get the perfect call all the time is not necessary. And then instituting it so you can go backwards, and it's personal. Yeah. They going backwards if Jaden McDaniels does that? Come on, like, and or just like any other. No, and to your point, Draymond has to know that he's officiated that way. But it's just, I don't know, that stuff just fix getting your players to try harder. Don't worry about getting a play right 4 plays ago.
I think it's an NBA problem. I always complain about this. I think the NBA refs are. I think they spend so much time reffing to the letter of the law that. It's just, dude, it's basketball, man. Like, you can't call a foul every time someone jumps into someone and just grifts 2 free throws when he has no chance to make a shot. And I know they're all judged on, whether the call is called correctly according to the actual rule book. But Sam, I watched so many of these games, and I'm watching Dame get some of these calls and Harden, obviously. And it's just like, man, this stuff isn't basketball. This is the most talented league in the world. And half these dudes spend their time just tricking refs. It's gross. It's disgusting.
It's like they're like every one of us trying to get a CPA to get us the best tax breaks we can, you know? Like, it's just problem, you know?
I might need a new one next year, actually. So good mention. I'm going to use your guy.
No comment. Let's see here. I mean, getting back to tonight's game, like, literally the only thing that went well is that I hit on my DFS bet Steph Curry over, Klay Thompson over, and I went with the Rudy Gobert under. I got myself a 5.3 payout on Sleeper Fantasy. That's literally the only thing that worked right for me today. Shout out, $20 bet, winning $106.
Well done. Look at the Steph 28.5, easy. Klay 15.5, easy. Under a Rudy Gobert. You can also use the promo code, which you did, Light Years, and you'll get up to $100 match on your first deposit. So see Sleeper's terms of use for details. Operational in 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. Well done. Look at you.
I thought, you know, like I was feeling good about the Warriors bouncing back from Saturday night against the Cavs, and so I'm like, going to get the Klay bounce back game. Was not a bounce back game. He only had 16, so he barely cleared the 15.5. But I'll take it. I'll take the only win I'm getting tonight, which is Klay hitting that 16. And then the other part of me was, okay, Gobert, really good player, has had a really strong season. Rarely walks into a stats versus the Warriors. He didn't tonight. One on that side, but that's all I got going for me. That's it. That is it.
Promo code Light Years. Get $100 match on your first deposit.
Sleeper Fantasy, promo code Light Years. Get $100 match on your first deposit. Okay, let's get back to this real quick.
I'm done.
Oh. I mean, should they change the starting lineup? Like, let's have the... Actually, I'm going to pull up. There's another quote here. Steve's talking. He's saying, you know, says he'd love to get the young guys more minutes, but calls it tricky with the Warriors' depth.
He said that tonight?
This was
just now.
15 minutes ago. Yeah.
8:23 p.m.
Sorry, 20 minutes ago. Let's be accurate.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
19 and a half minutes ago.
Do you agree with that?
I don't.
Yeah.
I think when he says tricky, he's implying that there's egos to be managed.
Sure. Okay.
But I'm looking at this team, and like one of my biggest issues with them is like way too many lineups involving slow guys. When I don't think they have a slow roster. I think they just have one of those rosters where it's like tough conversations have to be had. Like you need to mix in the Moody's, the GP2s, the Kumingas of the world with the Steph, the CP3. You need to find that like balance in lineups, right? You shouldn't have a lineup of Steph, CP3, Klay, Draymond, and Saric, which they played for an extended period of time tonight.
Yep. That's the one I agree with.
There's an argument to be made. They don't have enough talent, or like it's not a perfect roster, but like they do have a roster that shouldn't be looked at as too old. They should be able to mix and match it so the lineups are a little more reasonably mixed.
Think there should be a little more athleticism on the court when you have a team that has, you know, Kuminga, Wiggins, then you throw in GP2 and Moody, and then you can even push the pace a little more. And I think we're seeing a lot of reliance on Chris Paul right now, which we knew was coming, and it worked for a lot of the beginning of the season. But I do think they do have to go back to being what they are, right? They're so obsessed with being, hey, we're gonna chop the turnovers.
We're not turning it over.
Exactly.
Exactly. Dude, the broadcast, like you can tell the talking points from Fitz, where it's just like, look at that, no turnover.
Exactly. And part of what I agree, they need to be able to curtail the turnovers for them to have a higher floor. But part of what makes the Warriors is they play this type of style. They play that riskiest style because it has a high ceiling. Because if that pass that Steph throws cross court in midair gets to Klay, that three's going down, right? Versus where with Chris Paul, it's very much a, dribble, dribble, dribble. Let's find the open shot, but the open shot is Dario Saric, and this team can't shoot right now. Again, I mean, Klay's not making shots either, but I just don't. They do need to find a balance. I think I saw a quote with Draymond saying him and Chris Paul have to get guys in better situations to help Steph. Sure, whatever that means, but maybe they need to go and start playing faster again.
You know they're struggling when they're all going to the slurp Steph quotes, where they're just all they have going for them right now.
Can you imagine playing and you just walk off the court and Steph is 38 and you're just, and you're Draymond and you're just standing there and you're just like, dude, what am I doing?
The funniest thing is Draymond's randomly hitting all his threes.
Right.
And he's the only one. Draymond says he and Chris Paul have to do a better job getting everyone else organized to better support Curry. I mean, Draymond and Chris Paul know it. They know Steph's playing at an all-time level, and they're kind of stinking up the joint a little bit. Like, they're not dumb. They're anything but dumb. And so the question is, where do they go from here? I'm not ready to say this team is not a contender, just like I wasn't necessarily ready to say they were going to win a championship when they got off to a hotter start. But there's some work to be done.
Yeah.
Some work to be done. And I'm not, it's like, okay, if they beat Minnesota on Tuesday, they do get to play them again. Does that clean everything up? No. Just means that they're maybe learning a little bit. Here, let's pull up the Steve Kerr quote real quick.
Yeah, let's get to this.
Yeah, let me pull it up here. Appreciate RKO who threw it in the chat for us. You're looking out. You're making the show better.
The things that most concern you. Steve, there were a number of things obviously that you didn't like, but what are the things that most concern you? I mean, I know fouling probably was one of those things, but what are the things that most concerned you?
I'm actually not overly concerned, to be honest with you. I think, the season is filled with ups and downs, and, we're in a little bit of a spell right now, but, it's not like we were the world's greatest team when we were 6-2, and we're not the world's worst team losing the last 3. It's just this is part of the season, and I think we just played back to back 2 great defensive teams that throttled us, and we need to figure out some things offensively, and I'm confident that we will.
Thanks, Dave.
Sounds to me like when I hear him talk like that, it sounds to me like he's worried about his team's confidence.
Interesting.
Because I think because I've heard Steve light them up. He lights them up when he thinks they're too cocky and they're not focused. This sounds like a dude who's like, I'm a little worried Klay and Wiggins are all over the place, and I just want them to like relax. Like this is a response from a coach to a team who is a little too like in their own heads, just trying to be like, guys, we'll be fine. We weren't that good 3 games ago, and we're not that bad tonight. Just relax. That's the energy I get from him right now.
I got a feeling that he's not too concerned. I actually believe him. That it's a long season, because that's who Steve Kerr is, right? He's always going to he's the master of playing the long game. It remains to be seen. The actions are going to speak louder than words. Do they come out? What is today? Sunday. Do they come out on Tuesday night doing anything differently, Sam? Do they run anything differently? Because there aren't going to be starting lineup changes. I'll tell you guys that right now. It's going to be the same starters on Tuesday night. But are they going to run anything differently? Are they going to come out, and is Draymond going to be at the top of the key scanning the traffic for a pass that he could squeeze in between 2 players? We'll see. So I would be a little surprised if he's pushing buttons this early in terms of lineups and changes, but I don't know. He looks like a man that's always he's probably one of the best coaching leaders in the NBA, right? Like he talked about them being not that great and they were 6-2, which I agree. Like they're 6-2 looking back, like It's a lot of close game wins that they had. And then they're probably not as bad as they look now, being 6-5.
It is true. We'll leave it at that.
I think end of the day, they're still about where they were that I think they are. They're probably like a second round team right now to me. And that's only 11 games in. We'll see.
Yeah, they don't strike me like I'm not writing them off, but I'm also not anointing them. That's where I'm at right now. Yep. You know, like I'm not running around being like they're a title team. I'm also not saying the season's over. Yep. So it is what it is. This is life. This, it makes you realize how lucky we were watching them. Early.
I had this thought to your point. I had this thought that mid-third quarter, the Warriors were down. What was it? Like they were down like 4 or 5, right? They were coming back. And I had this exact same thought to what you just said. In my head, I was like, man, the Warriors used to be the guy where they had Anthony Edwards, where not the type of player, but they used to have him where anytime the Warriors their opponents would go on a run, Anthony Edwards just got the ball and he just said, all right, I'm going to score. Right? He just went, I'm going to shoot a 12-footer. It's going to go in right over Chris Paul. Or I'm going to get right to the hole. I'm going to blow by Wiggins, get right to the hole and finish because Looney is too slow on the help side. And he just did that every single time. Because Edwards, I don't know if he played that great tonight. Took a lot of bad threes.
He looked sick. I mean,
but
he wasn't really supposed to play.
He was sick, right? He was sick. It just didn't matter, right? Anytime he wanted to,
he picked his spots. He's just like, all right, I need to just. Well, they're getting too close.
Exactly.
Boom, boom, boom.
Warriors used to be like that. They used to be the team that was, all right, man. We're up 12, and the other teams made a little bit of a run. Let's go run this play and get Klay a 3, right? Like that used to be the Warriors, and now the Warriors on the other side of that. And so, yeah, I mean, we take it for granted, man. We take it for granted.
We do. All
right,
shoot some. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Before we get to the Goons, Light Years Podcast, as you guys know, brought to you by Under Armour, Curry brand. Steph Curry, like he did tonight, makes you believe you can do anything. And the Curry 11s are specifically designed with ultimate bounce, grip, and stability to allow everyone to do their thing. New generations of ball players are coming up and showing the basketball world that the old rules do not apply. This NBA season, rock with your favorite player and rep his shoes on and off the court. The Curry 11s are perfect for the both committed and casual ballers. The UA Warp Tech makes the shoe feel like it was designed for your feet. Locked in no matter what you do on the court. Stopping your tracks with dual density UA flow, cushioning and traction, an emergency brake you don't even notice. Steph's 11th signature shoe steps into the second decade of his sneaker career, pulling colorful colorway inspiration from the wonders of a positive and modernized future on and off the court. Do your thing. Change the game. The Curry 11 Future Curry is available now at currybrand.com. Restrictions apply. All right. Light Years Podcast is brought to you by Sam. Guess what? They're back. Manscaped, baby. Are you ready to spice up your Thanksgiving as we dive first into mountains of mashed potatoes and cranberry sauce? Let's talk about the unsung hero of the holiday season, the Manscaped Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. That's right. It's time to go cold turkey on your old razor and take care of your own turkey leg with the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Visit manscaped.com and use code LIGHTYEARS for 20% off and free shipping. And enjoy Thanksgiving in style with the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra Gobble Gobble, boys.
Ultra Gobble Gobble.
Get 20% off, free shipping with the code LIGHTYEARS at manscaped.com. 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use code LIGHTYEARS. Be thankful this holiday season for the best gift of all from Manscaped. Your balls will thank you.
Let's go.
Gobble, gobble.
Gobble, gobble, baby. Promo code LIGHTYEARS. Before we get to the Goons, I want to ask you this one question. And by the way, I want every Goon to know, I want to know your answer to this. What is your hot take? Your early season hot take? Every team's played 10-ish games. We're about, what? Yeah, almost a month into the season. You have to have a take that you're thinking about in the broader NBA beyond the fact that Wiggins needs to learn how to play basketball again.
What's yours? We got to go with yours then before we go.
You want me to go first so you can think of yours? All right.
Yeah. No, I have mine. I want you to go with yours first.
All right. My hot take. You know what? I'm gonna throw myself again up here. My hot take. I think the player empowerment era is over. This is my take. I think LeBron started this player empowerment era where coaches don't matter and blah, blah, blah doesn't matter. All that matters is me and my 3 friends get together and we're going to beat everyone's ass. Well, you know what? Like, look at the Clippers. Look at the Bucks. Honestly, I think it's over. I think the league's caught up. I think coaching matters. And I think the days of just compiling talent and thinking you can win a ring are over. You have to build an actual team. In my mind, I'm really thinking about the Bucks when I talk about this, but I think it also applies to the Clippers. The Bucks have 2, like, I can see a team with Giannis and Dame winning a ring. No question in my mind. They're talented enough to lead a team. And they also have the intangibles to lead a team to win a ring. Do I think this Milwaukee Bucks team will win a ring? No. They have a first-year head coach. I don't see them really building an identity. It feels like, okay, we got talent. We should win. You're not going to win a ring, dude. You're going to lose to the Miami Heat once again. Maybe to the Boston Celtics. Same thing. I think the player empowerment. I think the league has moved beyond that. I think we're back to, you have to, like, obviously talent matters, but coaching matters too. Building a roster matters. And yeah, that's where I'm at. That's my early season take. The Bucks will not win a title.
I love it. I love it. I think part of that is maybe some of these guys that are asking out aren't as good as people thought. I think, especially in Harden's case and maybe even Dame's case. All right, I got one for you. Warriors fans might not like this one. I think the time is up for the old guard. So, who are the 3 best players of the last generation? Sam, who are the 3 best players?
Steph, Klay, Draymond.
Steph for sure, and LeBron and KD, right? So those are, I think, the 3 guys you could say across the last 10 years have been the best players. And whatever, if you want to throw Kawhi in there, sure. But I think the time is up, and it always feels like things come at you faster than you realize. Coming into the season, people were talking about the Suns, the Lakers, especially, as having great odds to win the championship, and the Warriors, I think, were right there with those guys. But Samuel, I'm watching these teams, these 3 teams this season. I watched a lot of these teams. And I think their chances of winning a championship might be over. And I don't think that we thought that it was over going to the season. But the Nuggets look incredible, right? And the Celtics look incredible. I know it's laughs. The Sixers look incredible. Then you've got OKC. I watched the Houston Rockets. Again, I'm just saying. I'm not saying like this. The Houston Rockets are going to be amazing, but I saw them rip apart the Denver Nuggets tonight. I think this league is moving a lot faster now. These guys are getting older. The teams are looking older. Devin Booker can't even stay on the court. Bradley Beal looks washed up. LeBron's out tonight with a calf contusion.
Like 26. He should be this.
Right, but I'm saying but he's hurt, right? He's already hurt. So I'm just saying that I think that it might be over for those 3 guys. And those 3 guys were the best players of the last 10 years.
It's over?
What's over?
Marriage?
Why would I?
It's over? It's over? Sorry. That's what I thought of when you said it's over. I got a little curve up here at the same time. You might be right. I'm drinking some heavy copium. I don't want to say it's over. It could be over for LeBron and KD. It can't be over for number 3. Not ready to go there. Not ready to do it. All right, let's get some goons.
All right, let's get to the goons. Man.
Get Paratosh up here.
Nice.
Guys, can you hear me?
Lead off.
Yeah, we can hear you. What's up, man?
Yeah, I hope the reception is better this time than last time around. Anyways, I'm glad Andy brought up the point about the old guard, because I want to add one more name to the old guard, and that's who I'm going to say, Steve Kerr. So in in relation to that, I want to talk about, Andy mentioned that the offense is clunky. And I just feel like, in addition to clunky, it feels stale and uninspiring. Like, we don't see anything new from this offense, and I don't think we've seen anything new for a couple of years. So, shouldn't we be expecting Kerr to have, or the coaching staff to do something different when things are not working? And we saw them not work last year as well. So, yeah, what do you guys think about that? I don't think if Kerr doesn't evolve, I really don't think that going forward, or even with this squad that we have, we are a contender right now. So yeah,
it's a good question. I'm like 50-50, honestly. Like, on the one hand, I'm wondering why they can't run a little more Chris Paul, Dario Saric pick and pop, and just like a little more direct offense.
Yep.
On the other hand, I don't know that I can blame Steve Kerr for Andrew Wiggins not hitting an open jumper. At least I don't know a reason I can just yet. You know, like, I don't know that I can blame him for Klay not hitting an open jumper. Like I think this is a hedge, but it's 50-50. You know, it's like, are we complaining about Kerr's offense if Klay and Wiggins just shoot better? Honestly, like, these aren't bad shots that they're missing. That's the part that drives me insane. If the offense was generating Wiggins contested threes with two hands in his face, I'd be like, what are we doing? But he's not shooting open shots. I think there's a bigger criticism of Steve for not, like, benching him than, like, changing his system, honestly.
I think you're right. I actually don't have too much Steve criticism outside of the standard stuff, right? Outside of the standard, why don't you play these guys more? Why are there? But, like, all that stuff is you know, who knows, right? We say this stuff, we sit here and say this stuff, and we have a little bit of hindsight, and we know who Steve is. He's not going to change certain things. At the end of the day, though, I think they did have the right process going into the season. It just might be that they're not good enough. It just might be that. But them not being good enough means that Andrew Wiggins is going to shoot 10% from three. So I don't know. So I'm getting to the point where it's like, I agree with you. It's like, if they're not good enough, then just Andrew Wiggins is just going to have to go send his ass to, you know what I mean? Like,
G League,
I don't even
G
want
League,
that.
baby.
I feel bad because I don't. I feel bad because I you know how it is with me. Andrew, they won a championship. I did not like Andrew Wiggins before that championship run, but, like, won a championship with, now I'm kind of like, okay, like, I always wanted to give him more chances.
He's your new Travis Ishikawa. I got it.
Oh my god!
I was trying to think of someone who was not, like, a core, but, like, did contribute to, like, one massive ring. I don't know, maybe Aubrey Huff.
Oh boy, that's a great one.
Two different extremes.
Aubrey Huff, man, that guy, man. But yeah, they really need. Hey, by the way, he's the new hitting coach. He's a new hitting coach.
They're not going to be hitting any better next year. I got
you. Him and Matt Williams are the Giants are, like, bringing back the
really leaning nostalgia.
Yeah.
Well, and we'll know the Warriors are washed when they're like, we brought back Klay Thompson, the shooting coach.
Dude, like 10 years from now, 10 plus years from now, they'll have Klay coming in, and there's no way. We're not going to hear from Klay, are we, when he retires? There's no chance, right?
Of all people, the idea that he's going to sign up to be, like, a grinder coach seems
chance. No chance.
Yeah. Keep moving. All right, let's get our guy Rowan up here.
I miss when Klay was happy. It sucks to see him struggle.
I would like to see him just have one, like, just give me a vintage, like, Klay, like 8-3.
Yeah, right.
Rowan, what's up, man?
What up, guys? The thing that is that's killed me this in the preseason and then now as the season is unfolding is there are temporary issues, and that's Wiggins, and we like talking about how shitty he's playing currently in this moment. But the reality is, like, as a piece and as a contract, he is good as long as like he is cured from whatever, is happening. But I think the bigger thing is the foundational issue of Chris Paul, his $31 million contract, and Klay Thompson and his $43 million contract. That's $74 million of cap space. That's 5% of the cap dedicated to two guys that can't produce to that level. And I think like everything else we're talking about is a cascading issue that comes from those two contracts. Because like what we're saying is we're like, well, Saric and like, oh, well, we're not doing this and that. But like what we really want is like all these guys to have to play way above their contracts, because in the end of the day, we turned Jordan Poole, who is flawed, into Chris Paul, who can't play defense. He can't play make anymore. He can't shoot. He can't rebound. And so like in the end of the day, it's like, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, but doesn't that still apply to Wiggins though?
It does, but Wiggins, but in the end of the day, like even on his worst day, like at least he is a body on defense that can like stay in front of somebody.
Is he? Is he though? Like
more than Chris Paul, and more than Klay. Like if I have to watch them get,
I would argue. I mean, I don't want to get into like a contentious argument with this, but like they're at least expiring contracts. So I agree with you.
That's my point. And so like I feel like I keep hearing and I keep seeing on the Twitter, the X, whatever. Like we got to get rid of Wiggins, but it's like Wiggins is a good contract, and my point is more like we know that this is the worst Wiggins has ever played in his entire career. Our assumption is that he's not just a broken toy soldier forever, and that maybe he can be repaired. And like the reality is his ceiling this season is well above his contract, whereas there's no world in which Klay is going to play like a $43 million player. And there's no chance Chris Paul will play like he's playing like a league. When we're like, damn, Chris, you had a great game. He's playing like a league vet, a vet minimum.
Yeah, like mid-level. He's Gabe Vincent out there.
Yeah, we're like,
hey, smart
good job, Gabe, but it's like he's not being paid like Gabe. And so it's like, and sometimes when money, it's like, who is that? But the point is like, we could be using that money for maybe like a 7-footer to help out. Maybe like,
well, I do think
who can do anything.
I do think you're onto something because, and sorry for cutting off Andy, but it's like if this is the production they're getting, there will be moves made. Even if it makes me sad, you can't justify this payroll and all those contracts if all you're getting is like 6 seed production and a second round out. To Andy's point, so they're not going to do anything in November or December because no one makes trades then. But like they got 30 games to prove that this is a real thing. Or, we'll go back to our favorite word, optionality, right? Like the entire point behind it was like Chris Paul could be here next year or he could be traded at the deadline to get you a better player, So it's like, I think that's kind of, whether we want to talk about it or not, like, hey man, if this doesn't change in the next 2 months, that's going to be the conversation we're having.
I'll just keep praying that Dunleavy has the strength to trade Chris Paul, even though we've been running the most absurd PR campaign to pretend that him playing with our most productive players is why they're being productive. But, it's good.
That's my guy. Appreciate you, Rowan.
Great call.
Thanks, guys.
That's a great call.
You got anything?
No, that was awesome. We got some goons out here coming in locked and loaded.
I can't disagree with him. That like ultimately, like as much as we don't want to admit it, hey dude, if you're not producing and you're paying that much, like changes are going to come.
End of the day, it is those two guys. I mean, as they say in the corporate world, net. It's those two guys, man. That's it. I mean, what are you supposed to do with? Ooh.
What's up, man?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I'm new to this. This is my first time from South Africa. How are you guys? Always wanted to be here.
Wonderful.
I've been listening, and I just really wanted to call today. I got a few questions for you guys, like regarding the the coaching specifically. I know you guys said earlier that you don't want to blame Steve Kerr too much, but if you're to look at the Pelicans game, I don't know if you noticed when Klay Thompson and Kuminga were out due to injury. Steve Kerr started Moody alongside Wiggins, Steph, Draymond, and Mooney. And then off the bench, it was TJD, Saric, Gary Payton, and CP3. And I honestly think that was our best game. Now, my concern and question is like, why is Steve Kerr not being questioned in regards to rotations? Because I honestly think that the issue is not necessarily the players. Because as much as Wiggins has been playing bad and Klay Thompson has been playing bad, it can be supplemented by good rotations. So I don't know if you guys agree with me on that. Like, is Steve Kerr rotations okay, or what's going on? Because especially like you guys, like Andy always complains, the CP3, Klay, and Steph lineup. I really hate that lineup as well. So sorry, I've been talking about now.
Oh man. You want to mute yourself? Go ahead, mute yourself.
No, I was like, done though. Like, what do you think about that Steve Kerr rotations and like when? Because honestly, if this continues, there's no solution to anything, I believe. Because even if you get new players, he's still going to do the same rotations.
Tom, appreciate you. Andy, you want to take that? I put him off the stage because we're getting some feedback.
That's why.
I want to answer the question because those were great questions.
Yeah, I'll start. Yeah, that's exactly why. So that's why I didn't say anything. At some point, though, what are you supposed to do with rotations when guys just aren't just making shots? Fitz spent 48 minutes tonight talking about this team shooting 40% from the field. And look, I'm sitting here like, okay, there are different things that you can do to make this team shoot better. But when I look at Andrew Wiggins shoot a pull-up 16-footer, there is no rotation or offense or scheme that is going to help him not airball a 16-foot pull-up jump shot. That is an Andrew Wiggins special. He is in the 90th percentile of human existence that can make that type of shot. There's nothing that can help him. Now, maybe you can argue you can put more defense around him. You can put bigger guys around him to help defensively so that they don't wear legs. But that's not how this roster is built, right? This roster is built for them to play fast and to be smaller and be able to run by guys. Tonight, they spent almost the first half getting a ton of offensive rebounds because they were just faster to the ball. End of the day, it didn't matter. Now, you can argue why that didn't matter, maybe because they just couldn't make any shots. But Sam, I don't. That's why I don't really care about blaming Steve Kerr too much. It's just because of that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I need to see them hit shots a little bit before I start taking a bigger picture view on everything. But it's frustrating right now. There's no other way around it. It's frustrating. All right, next one up here. Let's get Lau. The problem child.
Boys. What up, boys?
What's up, brother?
How you doing?
Another weekend ruined, huh? You can never have an all Bay Area fan. Like, even that Raiders win, that don't count, you know? It's just, we beat Jacksonville today, too. But, you can never have the trifecta. All three teams just...
That was like a thorough beatdown, too. It was very comfortable. I was just like...
I told you.
Vibes are back. Should have known. Yeah, should have known immediately that happened. It's like the Warriors are going to do some bullshit.
Hey, do you remember like a few episodes ago? Sorry, I just got back from. I just got back stateside, but I caught up on all the episodes, and I basically caught up with all this Wiggins stuff. But do you remember a few episodes ago when you guys were saying like, oh yeah, like what do you think will be on the homestand? And someone said it's like, was it 10-0 or 6-0, 8-0? Wow, we were tripping. We were looking at, oh yeah, we're gonna beat the Cavs. We're gonna beat. Man, I was like, yeah, it's bad. It's gonna be a slide. It's just no fun right now. Isn't that crazy stat that no one has dropped 20 points except Steph
and Dario that one time?
That's insane. That's like
boring right now.
I think what we need right now is
dude, come on, man.
Oh, we need that.
No,
we need
dude,
that.
no.
What you doing, young lady? Feeling that you're getting really drives me crazy. You don't have a play about the choke. I was handle off a word first time that we spoke. You looking for
horrendous.
We need this.
I like how they have Draymond doing the Nelly Furtado part.
You expect me to just let you
It's not a
Text this to me, Sam. I need this.
All I can do is try. Give me one J.
I have a question though. So I guess what's next? I mean, we're kind of locked with the roster we have. So what do we do? Like Kuminga, I'm out on Kuminga. If we get, I got a cool package for us. What if we send Wiggins and Kuminga back to Toronto? Get OG and Siakam.
That's the trade. I mean, that's the trade.
We send Wiggins back home. He gets to be, Maple Jordan, and we get Siakam, who's actually dropped 30 points this year. That's pretty nuts. No one else dropped 30 for us. So if we get Siakam, OG, we'll be all right.
I'm not ready to go trade machine. That's where I'm.
Wow.
Because I have an addiction issue with trade machine. So once I get in there, it's not stopping. I'll be texting Andy horrendous trades at 3 a.m. I can't do it.
I do think I was reading on I watched Toronto because I like Scotty Barnes and know people there. Hey, one thing about Toronto that I think is different this year versus other years is that I think that's Scotty Barnes' team now. That's his offense. That's his team. And I don't know, whatever that's worth. You can argue whether that's a good move or whether he's good enough, but that's him. That offense runs through him, and I think what that means to Pascal Siakam is probably that he's expendable. Again, it's Masai Ujiri. He's kind of a joke. I mean, is he even going to trade him ever?
Nope.
But I think if it was going to be a season to do that, right? It's probably now because, I mean, I don't know how much they value him anymore. That they're going to build that thing around Scotty. I'm
not falling for the Masai. I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get into it. You and I are gonna get a text from the same guy, and we'd be like, "They're talking." I'm gonna get super excited, think it's gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
Oh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
You know what I love though? I was having dinner with one of my Laker friend homies last night. And apparently, they're turning on Austin Reeves now. They're talking trade machine. I was like, whoa, turning on him. Yeah, I love that. They're turning on Austin Reeves. I love it.
Wow.
After an
Oh, Sam just took himself off stage.
Oh, it's my show now.
Oh man, I guess they're gonna beat the Blazers tonight. But man, that's crazy. Has he been that bad to start the season? I've watched a lot of Lakers game.
Man, he's on my sleeper fantasy team, and he hasn't done shit. He's been on my bench for 3 straight weeks.
Oh, that's good. That's funny. They're gonna need him They're gonna need him if they would. They can't trade him. That contract's too good.
Dude, those stats are. His stats are insanely bad this year. It's like Wiggins level.
Only Lakers fans can rival Warriors fans, and I think Lakers fans are probably worse. But Warriors fans in terms of in-game panic, just in game-to-game panic. You know what I mean? There's nothing worse than Lakers fans.
The Warriors will have calculated panic that actually comes from rationale, while Laker fans just man, it's just irrational confidence when it doesn't matter. But, everybody talk tough when they're up. Everybody talk tough. Everybody talk tough when they're up.
By the way, the Nuggets look incredible. I mean, they just what is going on?
You mean the Mavericks, right?
Wait, what did I say?
They
also.
Sorry.
Obviously, the Nuggets look incredible. The Mavericks. Wow, Sam read my mind. Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. Because Luka, that's what I meant. I'm just Derek Lively, the Warriors wanted Derek Lively. Derek Lively might help the Warriors right now. He could have been nice, but
Kirk didn't have him on the draft board, man. I don't know. We didn't go hard enough. We got Pods instead, bro.
Hey, they might need to get Pods minutes.
Pods looks nice.
Pod's nice.
My buddy, I have a couple buddies that don't like.
Third best player on the team right now.
Fans want Pajemski. I've never seen someone so intense when he comes into a game and they're down 10 with a minute and a half, and he's just, dude, he's playing out there like he's the opposite of Andrew Wiggins. He is just so locked in, ready to go.
I can just hear Fitz going, playing hard is a skill.
Shit, I mean.
Tonight was a Fitz masterclass. Oh, my God. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. When he sprinkled in the lazy boy. Did you see?
Yeah, that was well
done.
done.
Did you hear that one?
That was well done. Kalena was laughing, too.
He's killing it, man. Oh, my God. You boys, man, have a happy Sunday night, man.
Thanks, brother.
Another weekend, another week. Playing tournament. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, brother.
Let's go, brother.
See you on Tuesday.
Do we end on that?
Let's see. Who do we got on the thing? Can we go one more?
Yeah, we get a couple goons up here. We'll get them all up at the same time. So we'll get incoherent.
Plenty of blame to go around, eh? Seems like
all
the
right.
blame carousel is going strong today.
Blame carousel was good.
Basically everyone but Steph, which is reasonable because Steph is the one saving grace of the team right now.
That's all we got going these days. That's it.
Yeah, but first off, I just want to say Tech on Dre yesterday was BS because it was a physical play. It's a bang bang play. When do you ever call a Tech on that? It's just it's a common foul. He should have been ejected maybe for other stuff, but whatever. Second, Nuggets was their first loss in this 3-game losing streak. Cavs is the one that they should have probably won because they had 2 nights of rest.
Yep.
It's get back at somebody that just beat you. I honestly think that 2 of those losses were reasonable. Nuggets at the end of a long road trip, perfectly reasonable to lose there. Timberwolves are legitimately good. I think it's a reasonable loss. They should have played harder. Wiggs should have been better. But that's something that we've been saying the whole freaking season. At the end of the day, people just need to make freaking shots. And again, the Nuggets, they could have won that too. And also if you're able to go back and review a freaking physical play that you then call a Tech on, maybe you should be able to go back and review a goaltend. But that's, again, a separate issue. But, all right. Later, boys.
Appreciate it.
I'm at the point where the Wings just suck right now. It's so here's what I looked up on. Wiggs is 13th percentile on post-ups, 9th percentile on spot-ups, 0 percentile on off-screen plays. It's at a certain point, I would love to run high pick and roll with Steph all the time, even if I think more times than not, it's Steph doesn't want to do that. And also, even though he's the best pick and roll player ever, sorry, Steve Nash, F your feelings. But at a certain point, if Joku as well, just being a 17th percentile spot-up player and a 4th percentile player off cuts, it's at a certain point, the Wings just have to play better. And especially in Wiggins' case, when he's essentially a minus 30. I don't know how that's possible on on-offs. A minus 30. While we have Joku and Moody that are somehow +5 and +7, respectively, with Steph. So at a certain point, by game 15 or 20, if Wiggs doesn't get it together, then then some tough conversations are going to have to be had that he is that destructive and probably can't play with the starters anymore. Same with Klay, but also it's been bad. It's been so bad, man.
Yep.
I said we end it there.
I
appreciate you. Andy.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, here.
All right, gentlemen. See you guys on Tuesday. Goodbye.